Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Now, the other John Curran, he was known as One Lung.
One Lung.
Yeah.
Well, how come, John?
Because of his deep diving ability?
He was, presumably he had one lung.
This is a current affair.
But he was also, it's the late 1800s to early 1900s time, and we are still in New York. And he was a member of the Gophers.
The Gophers.
Is that like neighborhood gang?
5 points. Like that whole gangs in New York.
Dead Rabbit. What was the other ones? The Rabbit Head.
Yeah, the Gophers were called that because like they did like
cum blasters.
They did all their meetings in like basements and stuff. So the idea was like they went out
golf courses.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah. And,
big teeth.
They ran some prostitution. And it was all Hell's Kitchen.
Nice.
And yeah, man, fucking God, Hell's Kitchen, quite a scene.
And to this very day.
You think the food was good?
I don't think to this very day at all.
I mean, they got fucking daredevils and kingpins running around.
They probably have an M&M shop.
But this guy, he would take over this gang called the Gophers, and he was known as a gentleman with the ladies.
Well, I mean, they run prostitution. He has to be,
And he was maybe the most like poetic like criminal that ever lived. And he also was like...
Is that a low bar or a high bar? I'm not sure.
Well, you're going to be able to judge, man.
Okay, thank you.
Marquis de Sade's rolling over in his face.
I don't know of his tomb.
And he was obsessed with hating the police. Like...
As many a poet criminal is.
Yeah. It's not unrelatable.
So I think it was like tuberculosis was what fucked him up and caused the one lung. And so he was a tough guy in Hell's Kitchen, and he was between 7th and 11th Avenues and from 14th to 42nd Streets. And the newspapers at the time said they did not have the violence or brute power of the Gophers, which meant the cops don't go there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we can't fuck with these guys.
And
that was right under our noses.
Like they were like he was like pathological in hatred of the police.
Uh-huh.
One time he was with a woman, and he was she was cold. She was saying the breeze off the Hudson was too much, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that won't do." So he finds a cop.
These fucking cops, man.
Yeah.
Cold around.
Yeah.
Finds a cop nearby, takes and just beats the living fucking shit out of him. Okay. And he steals his jacket.
Give me that shit.
And he gives it to her. And she was a very talented seamstress. And so she took it home and she made it like this form-fitting thing. Ooh. And then all of the other Gophers started going out and beating up cops and taking their jackets to get them for their girlfriends.
Oh, wow.
And so it was like, and then...
They're called gopher pelts.
And then the guys would take it and the seamstress would still fit it for them. And so then like the outfit of the Gophers was stolen cop uniforms.
They just look like better dressed cops.
Yeah.
I mean, these
like
guys,
the Blues Brothers.
these guys, like all these girls are like, everybody's got like this badass fashion.
Yeah.
The cops won't go there, and everybody fucking looks great.
Yeah.
It's a real nice
Except
time.
the cops.
Yeah.
No,
It's easy to pick them out.
And so
Guys,
There's a gopher who just hasn't had his suit fitted yet.
Yeah,
and he's like, guys, I'm not a cop. I just haven't had my fitting yet.
There was other ones around at the time, the East Side Gang, and there was the Five Pointers. And I think the Five Pointers is like, I think we've talked about it in other organized crime ones where it's, that's where, Lucky Luciano and those guys would have come from and stuff. But this obviously, Hell's Kitchen, very Irish gang. So he would recite poetry that he wrote to the gang, right?
That's
sweet.
Can you read us a stanza?
Well, so when he was
you've read The Outsider.
when he was in the tuberculosis ward in Bellevue Hospital, a rival gang that they had frequent conflict with. They were in the Village. They were called the Hudson Dusters. Okay, and
the sweeping they did.
Yeah,
or maybe the jackets.
Oh yeah, gotta be the jackets.
Yeah, they were probably
jackets.
It's all jackets.
They were probably just snorting dust.
Yeah, they like to get wet.
Yeah, I got this keyboard cleaner in the 18th.
Big keyboards back then.
But so he's fucked up with tuberculosis. He's in the hospital, and the Hudson Dusters fuck up this cop named Dennis Sullivan, and Dennis Sullivan had a rep for fucking with the gang guys. And
fucking around with or fucking up?
Fucking them up.
Okay, got it.
And so they beat him and stomped on his face. They fucked him up really, really bad. And he was hospitalized for several weeks. He almost died. And
plus they gave him tuberculosis.
Yeah, they're like, all right, you're in this.
No, but one lung was in tuberculosis ward, and news came to him about it, and he sat up and he wrote this poem. And even though it was giving honor to the other gang, this poem would go on to be printed by the other gang and create peace between the Gophers.
Because at least they both hate the cops.
Because it was such a good poem. This is how it went. And you can hear the Irish here so much. And then when he says Denny, he means Dennis Sullivan, the cop. Says Denny, here's me only chance to gain meself a name. I'll clean up the Hudson Dusters and reach the Hall of Fame. He lost his stick and cannon, and his shield they took away. It was then that he remembered, every dog has got his day. Safakis goes on here. One Lung's masterpiece went on for a half dozen more verses describing the assault in loving detail.
Then there's also the part where he says, there was a man from Nantucket.
Yeah. So it creates this new era of peace between the two gangs. And
first we climbed the ladder, every last rung.
It's just,
and then we jumped off the top and shattered his fucking lung.
So it's just like Bono with the Irish Peace Accords.
It's the very same. Yeah.
Minus cool glasses.
Except this happened. And so the Dusters printed up his poem on this parchment paper, and they gave it out to all the saloons that would hang it up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? And then they also
it's like 7 pages long too. It's just
they gave it to
they can't read.
They made sure it reached the cops at Sullivan's home precinct, as well as getting a copy to Sullivan himself in the hospital.
Oh God, his eyes are swollen shut. He had a nurse read it to him.
Oh yeah.
And then it goes on to mention the testicular crushing, the smithereening of.
And so he was just a nightmare until tuberculosis finally took him, and still the poems stayed around, and the heavies on the streets of New York would sing it all. Fucking
call and response.
Recite it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Hey, before we smash this cop's face in, is there anything you want to say?
John Curran. One lung. 2 John Currans.
2 John Currans and
but I mean, oh my God, stealing the cops' jackets.
Give me that.
So goddamn funny. And like,
let me show you how to wear this.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
It was supposed to be between 2 cops that came up with Hell's Kitchen, where like one rookie said it's hell, and the older cop said,
"Nah, man, it's voice."
Yeah, it's Hell's Kitchen. Yeah. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with another shorty for you fellas.
Oh boy.
Be right back.